sitting so much, but I'm not allowed.
No sitting here.
Did you tell them to remove it? Sitting too much.
Oh, me too.
Is it repeating? Okay. Great, how are you? Good. Are you going to ask me questions today? Sure.
Let me grab my glasses.
Okay, I didn't get my equipment today.
Do it night. So you keep getting the
The mic and everything.
Okay. I think we are being recorded on that microphone right there.
Yeah, it's already started.
I want you to get the 150.
But it's okay, it's for the live and in-person people.
You watch the video. you
Always do it again.
I went through my history. You've not done one.
Makes you happy. Do it again.
Are you going from right there?
I'm going from right here.
Can I
Okay.
use this one then?
If you'd like.
Because I want some notes up.
Oh my, okay.
But now,
Yeah, right now I
do 2 or 3, do 2 or 3 a week. You have to do-
Get started in a minute. Let people come back from the restroom or wherever.
There's a.
Oh, chair. Thank you.
No. You can watch them whenever you want.
Does anybody else squint instead of putting on their
I'm
glasses?
gonna share it. Let me see.
I just leave mine on.
Yeah.
Too
Now you
easy.
cross record it. So it looks like this. Here they are. Here they are. You just watch them. And then at the end of each one, yeah, and they're all down here. Spark your career. Embrace your job. And then you do the survey. And then you download this form and fill it out as you go along. And all I need from you is to. All I need from you is to.
Can't sit there because then people can't see.
See if I can make it.
I've been told.
You've been told.
I agree.
No, it's different now. Here they are.
much harder to attend.
Yeah, so you put that.
Morning, everybody.
Video.
Getting ourselves situated.
There's 20.
We're going to have an amazing team meeting, Joe Dickerson.
Sign it.
Yes, we are, Eddie Moran.
Yes, we are, Joe Dickerson.
Well, get it to me by the 10th.
Your turn.
If you can get it to me.
What are we going to do in today's team meeting, Eddie?
You'll be okay.
We're going to talk about some things. Is that whose phone's ringing? Is that mine? No. First thing we're going to talk about at our team meeting is silencing our phones. And maybe putting it on, because my phone rings all the time during meetings, oops, is we're going to put them on mute, and then if we have an important call to take, was it you? It was you, wasn't it? We're going to take it outside of the space so everybody can continue to chat. And then we're going to talk about lots of things. I don't know, we'll talk about the market some, we'll talk about listing some, we'll talk about some of the forms updates from yesterday.
That's great. Yeah, we're going to talk about some upcoming events. And what else do we have planned? I think Moose now wants to ask me some questions about my real estate career, so we'll do that if you guys are interested. And then we're going to go and sell some houses. That sound good? All right, shall we get started? Let's get rolling. Let's start with wins, like we always do. A piece of gratitude, a win that you've had or someone else around you has offered. Oh, yes!
You should
So-
stand up.
Okay, today's happening my first closing ever.
Yay!
It's been a while. It took me like maybe 3, maybe even more months to nurture the client and to come to change the condo. Choose another one, and finally today's happening. So Eddie, thank you. Also, I guess you gave some kind of advice on this situation. Yes, thank you so much. And I would say I want to appreciate Stephanie so much because she was with me every step, and maybe she was sometimes ahead of me. And I was kind of trying to catch with her, and yes, we made a great team. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
I can tell you one thing about Victoria. If you're a step ahead of her, you're not going to be a step ahead of her for long.
So
So
true.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, great work. All right, any other wins, gratitudes? Do 1 or 2 more, yeah.
I just rolled an offer today, so finger crossed I can win.
All right. Your first offer? No?
Not the
Okay.
first offer.
Okay, but it's the one you're gonna get. Yeah,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's hope.
Awesome. All right, one more.
I woke up today.
You woke up. Amazing.
Good one.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right. Oh, and one more.
Order referral for a new construction, so hopefully
Are they still building it?
No, it's
Okay,
all, everything's
good.
done, it's just the lending part.
Awesome.
So,
All
I
right,
think
congratulations.
everything's going through.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm gonna give a vague one.
Yes.
Do we want a big one? Okay. You know how like life is filled with like that next thing you have to do and those other stresses that you've got kind of hanging over your head, and you just kind of like move from one to the next, personal and personal and business, etc. And then every once in a while, there's that period that you go through where you're like, I feel like I've got everything under control, and I feel like things are kind of working out, and I've got a plan, etc. And you're like, I don't know how I got here, but like I'm having like one of those moments. Do you guys know that moment where I don't feel like there's a bunch of stuff hanging over me? I think it's a very
Amazing.
human thing to be like, oh, I should be grateful for that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, got it together.
And
So
this
it's a little
is you-
vague, but I think everybody kind of gets it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
And this is you being grateful for that
I'm
feeling.
grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful. I
Awesome.
feel like things
Glad
are
you
under
have that.
control right now.
Yeah. Good.
So anyway, if anybody's got some big fire or mediation or a lawsuit or something else, now's not the time to hit me with that. Feeling blissful.
Awesome. So happy for you.
Mhm.
Blissful. That's nice. All right. Any last takers for wins or gratitudes? Yeah.
Non-real estate will do?
Fine. Yes.
So I last week interviewed Matt. He's the CEO of Paradomics, and he is making a chip that can actually read human brain, and he's giving a very tough competition to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
neural
Okay.
Oh,
Very
great.
cool. Congrats on that interview.
That scares the hell out of me.
And-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it is scary.
terrified.
So he showed me this is tiny chip, okay, that just goes inside that head.
Oh,
Nope.
just right inside. No big deal.
Oh man, I'm checking out. That's
Wow.
I have one non-real estate.
Yeah.
I just joined Google this week.
Wow.
Ah,
What did you do? Go Google what?
I joined Google as a software developer.
oh, great. Okay.
Super cool.
Fantastic.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Why do we do this? Why do we share our wins and gratitudes?
We're family.
Yeah, to spread the good vibes, good feeling, good energy. I can't get the smile off my face. It's great hearing good things. So thank you guys. All right, well, let's talk about some upcoming events. We talked about Family Reunion a lot. There is a full lineup now. We're still trying to figure out what's available digitally versus not. But we know we have the Social Media Con on Sunday the 22nd. If it's available digitally, we will present it here somehow. And then on Monday, the vision speech and the inspirational morning. And then on Tuesday, the 24th of February, Jay Shetty will be doing the keynote speaking. So be ready for that, either in
It's a great
Atlanta
keynote.
with Eddie and I. What?
That should be a great keynote, Jay
Yeah,
Shetty.
oh,
If
yeah,
you've ever seen any of Jay
absolutely.
Shetty's stuff, he's super interesting. He was at one point a Buddhist monk.
Yes, it's been 3 years, I think.
And he wrote a book about like living like a monk.
Think Like
Think
a
Like a
Monk.
Monk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's super smart, super interesting.
Yeah, and as a podcast and all that. Yes, so yeah, Eddie and I will be there in person in Atlanta. Are you confirmed? Okay, not yet. I will be there in person in Atlanta. So join me if you want, or else just
I'll
really
probably
here in
be
the
there.
office.
I'm trying to get one of the market centers to pay my fee. So it depends on how successful I am negotiating.
So we have two of our amazing vendors with us today. So the first, Stephanie, could you take a moment and share some thoughts around what's happening in the mortgage world and add some value to our agent body?
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Stephanie from Marty Mortgage. So today I just wanted to share a little reminder about condos. I find that it's a little bit more popular now, that people are more attracted to condos. Maybe the price range or
Speak up. Nice
the
and loud.
price range of condos. But yes, when you're dealing with condos, there is a certification that is required from the HOA office. And because we have to be dependent on them to provide the information on this condo certification, it takes them about 7 to 10 days of turnaround time. So I just wanted to remind that if you are working with a condo, if your clients are interested, please get that ahead of time, because sometimes if you don't, it does cause delays towards the end, and it just kind of messes up the timeline. So clients are not, understanding of what the urgency is regarding the whole entire process. So, we as advisors, we kind of, I lay it up front always at the very beginning, but if it doesn't retain in their minds, as agents, I just feel like it's a good reminder, when you're dealing with that, to kind of remind them on it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is new credit. When, a client is in the process of doing financing, do not have them open any new credit, any new credit cards. There was a deal that I was working with, and even though I reminded them at the very beginning, they still went out and opened a credit card at Kohl's, purchased a pants. It was only like less than $100, but it messed up with the whole ratios and stuff like that with underwriting. There's additional documentation that they're asking for, so that delayed another 5 days of time. So these are just little reminders that, we can kind of remind our clients upfront to make the entire process smoother and to kind of close on time, right?
Well, we always say don't go out and buy a car, but don't go out and buy a pair of
Oh,
pants.
That's right, it's not extra, it's just a tiny little credit card.
Yeah, it's so new.
Yeah, underwriting does have a monitoring system on the back end to kind of detect if a customer is opening up new credits, so just kind of, know that.
Yeah, that's a great thing to work into our buyer consultations, though.
Right,
Not only don't buy a new car, but don't open any new line of credit,
right,
even if it's for a $25 pair of pants.
yeah.
And honestly, this is the reason that we go to team meetings. Just little things like this that's
Yeah.
gonna save you a headache later. We all learned this early in our career, don't buy a car, but that anecdote is very helpful for everybody in this room. So pick up those little nuggets, and
Right.
your time is already well spent here. Thanks
Yeah,
for that.
Of course. And the recent stats, with NAR, it does say that clients nowadays are looking for guidance, right? They're looking for you to kind of give them information, educate them. So, I think there was 79% of the clients, the borrowers now is looking for that. So, I always do the upfront work and teach them and educate them kind of, with financial planning and all that stuff. So, it's just great for us to have this, beginning knowledge and kind of guide the customers without them having any education or knowledge with this. So, yeah, so I'll be here if you guys.
It's great
have
too,
any-
because it allows you to stay in your lane, right? And not step over into stuff that you're, God forbid, BSing about, or, working in an area you're not. You just hand them right over to the right resource like Stephanie.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Stephanie.
So Stephanie's with RE Mortgage Advisors, and she can be found in that office if you have any lending questions.
I just looked back at Stephen Klein in this office when he thought that it was his time up, but it's just that because I looked over at him, but it's just that I love looking at Stephen.
We'll hear from him later.
Uh,
Look, we have a PC graduate. Do you want to?
Aman Singh!
Where's William? Is William here?
So Aman has completed his three required residential sales in the PC program very quickly, I believe. Was it fast?
Well, within a year.
Okay.
I can actually.
Well, were they all were really close together, maybe?
Yeah,
That's what I
one
said.
was a double, he did.
Oh, very cool. William Sweet was his mentor, so you can congratulate them both if you see them. Awesome. All right, some upcoming events. You can find this at the front desk, but we'll highlight some big events. Wednesday, tomorrow? Yeah, wow, I can't believe it's the 18th already. We have the Alameda County Assessor here in the office. So come show up for him, learn about Prop 19 and how to save your clients a lot of money on property taxes when they're selling and buying a new house.
Who can move their tax base, who can't, where you can move it, what happens with your children, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. He'll cover it all, presumably, in an hour. And then on Thursday, the 20th, Mike Putnam will be here. He's our KW Advisors president, and he'll be here talking about team success. So if you're looking to join a team or run a team, grow a team down the road, this is the mastermind for you. So come show up at 11 o'clock on this Thursday, and RSVP if you haven't.
If you don't get these codes, we'll send out the slides, right, afterwards?
Yeah, they're around.
Okay.
I don't see that one, but yeah, they're around. Thanksgiving is on Friday this year.
No.
The party's on Friday. This Friday at 12:30. So come hang out. Do you want to talk about the potluck?
No, just RSVP, so we are prepared how many people are coming and just have fun time together, network.
Oh,
You are welcome to come along with your family, kids, any guests. If you feel any clients will be happy to hang out with us, you are welcome to invite them as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Open door.
Some QR scanning happen.
Harshita creates a beautiful open door in this place. I was just thinking open door, it's like because of you, actually.
Thank you, Harshita. All right, in the following week, there's still stuff going on, even though it's Thanksgiving week. So if you're looking to fill your knowledge buckets, there's still a lot of stuff happening, especially on Tuesday. All right, and then further afield, the Monday after Thanksgiving on the 1st, we have our big KW Advisors team meeting. It's on Zoom, so you'll be able to find it at kwadvisorsclassroom.com. It's at noon, Monday the 1st. So there will be a panel. This was the one that was going to happen previously, and it's been rescheduled, so be there for that. And then our holiday party. Harshita, take it away. Talk about our holiday party.
We all should be excited the same way that table was excited. So this is a time when you can enjoy time together, like thankful, we say thankful, gratitude, spending time together, networking. We have sponsors, so we have sponsors and who are, I'm thankful to them as well for sponsoring the event, and as well as to Joe, not just sponsors. So please RSVP, so we are prepared, and if you are, and it's not open for outside people, only family members. If you want to come along with your family member, just follow the rules, and no outside people are invited. So please RSVP, so we are well prepared. This time, as requested last time, we'll have music, dance floor. So please come. Please, like Victoria and I'm working hard to work around the things, and Stephanie is helping a lot to help us wherever she has all the resources to give that resources, and I think she's helping as a friend, as a realtor here, plus she's also helping us as mortgage part in getting the sponsorship. So please come. I will be very happy to see you all together end of the year holiday party.
And if you're wondering,
I know you're not here that day. John is not happy.
Aw.
Change the date.
Come on, we gotta change it for John. If you're wondering when Eddie sneaks out, it's right when Harshita starts the dance party and tries to get Eddie to dance.
I was gonna make a similar joke.
Just to clear, it's free for agents if somebody's joining along with their spouse. So any additional guest is $65 per person.
Beyond the spouse?
No, spouse.
Spouse.
And I know your kids are free, yeah. If it's
Any other
13, where we
Any
have-
other questions?
Just come.
Look forward to
Yeah,
seeing
more
you guys
questions.
there. Maybe you'll see me dance, but probably not.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, oh,
December 5th.
No, not that.
what?
PM.
What?
Oh,
I have to
after this
interview
end.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. Alrighty. So, twice a year, CAR releases new forms updates, or new forms and forms updates. They're always in December and June. Is it June? July?
June.
June. Okay. So we're about to get a bunch of updates to forms, and our broker of record, Eddie Moran, is going to chat about some of the pertinent ones.
Yeah, and I'm not going to bore everybody too long on this one. I know you guys have heard me talk about a lot of forms in the past. This is actually a pretty brief and actually housekeeping heavy forms update. So most of the updates that were made to the forms are, minor changes, tweaks in language, further clarifications of paragraphs that already existed. But there are a couple of things of note. Again, even the things of note aren't super. Super. Are you already bored? Is it-
No.
that was it. I am too, actually. So the big. This is even not super substantial, but something to be aware of because you're putting these forms in front of your client. So the BRBC was updated, actually in a pretty good way. It was updated, we have for the last several years, we've had a time frame on our BRBCs. It originally was that we couldn't get a BRBC for more than 2 years to kind of follow the logic of the listing agreement. And then in one of the more recent updates this year, maybe last year, the CAR reduced that period to a 3-month period, and the actual BRBC form said 3 months. Rather than saying 3 months, now it's going to say 90 days. And can everybody see why that's an improvement for us, right? Because 3 months gets a little confusing. As a 31-day month is March 1st and then April 1st. You get a little confused. And the problem when we fill in these dates on a form until this new update is that if we're not accurate, up until this new update, if we weren't accurate, you could claim that the form was voided. by its inaccuracy. So if we had said March 1st to, April 1st, and that was more than 30 days because it was a 30-day, one-day month. Later on, it could be argued we never had an agreement with our client, so that's problematic, right? So now it's changed to 90 days so that we can actually count days more accurately, and then the added plus is that there's language added to the form that says, essentially, and if the agent got it wrong, it's whatever 90 days is from the start date. So it doesn't create this voidability issue. It kind of saves us. There's like a catch there for us. So that's good, right? We need these agreements to get paid. The next update, there were 4 or 5 forms. So, and each is just a 30-second spiel probably. The MLSA is our multiple listing service addendum. The updates to that form were mostly clarifications and housekeeping, explaining a little bit more clearly how clear cooperation works, explaining a little bit more clearly to sellers the different options for how visible they want to make their property, whether they wanted to opt out of all internet distribution or create more limited statuses. Stuff that's already existed, but now it's explaining it to the consumer, so take a look at that. The RPA was updated to advise potential buyers of real estate that they may want to inspect electrical systems in homes too, a very specific mention there. And the RPA was updated to include language about the FinCEN requirements, the federal reporting in regards to financial crime. So that's the one we're going to spend a second on. So the RPA was updated to just create a paragraph about this new federal legislation that is meant to track money laundering in the U.S. and to make buyers and sellers aware that cash buyers in residential 1 to 4 sales who are an entity, meaning an LLC or a trust, et cetera, that there's going to be some extra scrutiny on those clients as to where they're getting that cash from. This is something that's kind of been in the making and is now becoming law. The RPA just deals with telling the consumer that this is a thing, that there's going to be extra scrutiny on you if your cash buyer happens to be an entity purchasing 1 to 4. That's all the RPA does. I'm going to go a little bit further into it, unless you want to interject before I do.
I want one question.
Yeah.
So an entity is also a trust. Is that going to be?
So as I said, an entity like a trust or an LLC or any kind of formation like that, right? Yep. Here's the good news. Before I get into a little bit more about this, is that the burden really is on the escrow and the closing officer to make sure that they have the information that they need about the purchaser and the seller in a transaction that is all cash, that is residential 1 to 4, and that is an entity buyer. The escrow officer is going to have to send out some forms, basically to trace the money, because the federal government wants this on record. And they're going to ask it of the seller too, which I think is bizarre, but they are, in those circumstances, when the buyer is cash, 1 to 4 entity. It's not up to us to do it. So in the same way that multiple things are happening in the background by the closing company during an escrow, this is one of those things that they have to do. What is up to us is realizing that this is not unserious, that the obligation is our client's obligation, so they may ask us about it, and we just turn around and say, here's the advisory. There's an advisory actually attached to the RPA now, saying, if you're buying in this manner, you have to provide some extra information. The thing that we need to be, aware of is that it becomes something that escrow needs in order to close escrow. So we could find ourselves in situations where if somebody's dragging their feet and not providing escrow what they asked for, it could interfere with us closing an escrow. So that's a big deal. And then also there's an element to it that, there's an element with the person who the information is being requested from is told in the RPA that they have a certain amount of days to do it, to get escrow that information, 7 days in the purchase agreement. You have 7 days to answer escrow's questions. The same way that escrow sends out the SOI to the seller, asking them questions. You have 7 days to respond to this. The only tricky part that could come up for us is that if the buyer refuses to do so, or you can't track down that one trustee that needs to do it, arguably, the seller could maybe send a notice to perform and say, you haven't done something here that needs to get done in this transaction. And that could create potentially some kind of cancellation right. So it's going down a road I don't want us to go down on, because I told Joe this morning on the phone, I'm 0% worried about XinFin. And the reason that I'm, did I say that right? FinCEN. The reason I'm 0% worried is because the burden is escrow's burden. Like, escrow officers know they gotta get this done. I mean, it's the federal regulatory bodies that are looking at escrow saying you're getting this done. So for us, it's gonna get done. But we just gotta keep an eye on it, remind our client if they haven't done it, get them the info they need, get escrow the info they need about these, about where you got this cash money from, and we're done. But we should be checking in. Hey, escrow, did they do it? Did they do it? And if they didn't, we should know. We don't want this to become something where somebody sends us a notice to perform and we only have 48 hours. Even if we get a notice to perform, though, we have 48 hours to get our client to send them that info. So it's nothing to panic about. It's just something to be aware of. Does it make sense to everybody? It's just another overlay at escrow.
I have a few things
I
that
have a little question.
Yeah.
He said yesterday that it has to set an alarm. I didn't get it. Like, we have to do something for that? Like, we have to inform?
Set an alarm?
Like, I mean, it will trigger, like, that is the all cash flowing and all that. So do we have to play a role in informing anyone? Or
Right. So the role that I was trying to, and I probably didn't express myself clearly, the role that we play is just kind of in the background, just checking in with escrow to make sure that they've got everything that they need, the way we would every day in escrow transactions.
I think it brings one other conversation to the forefront. We often there are buyers who decide after they get into contract how they want to hold title. So you might have a buyer who writes their name on the contract, and then sometime during escrow, they're like, actually, I want to put it in my trust. So that triggers, the moment you put it in your trust, and it's a cash deal, it triggers this requirement. So if that's happening late in the game, then you're up against a time crunch. So it's just, all we need to do is have that conversation early on.
But
Are you putting it in your trust?
But let me just double down on something though, because I actually brought up that assignment question yesterday in the class. The reality is that it's still the same. It's still escrow's responsibility. You can't assign over a purchase without giving that assignment to escrow, at which point they're gonna say, I need this information from you, buyer. I really don't want people to think that they have to freak out about this.
Yeah.
So an assignment doesn't change anything. Escrow is still gonna say, get me that info.
Yep.
Yep. Jan. We're not asking for anything. The escrow company is going to ask for some kind of record of where those funds came from.
They're looking for beneficial ownership. So if any of you own your own S corp or entity, you've done part of what the buyers are being asked to do. So there's a beneficial ownership form, and then if it's cash, they want to know where the money is coming from.
Well, if the money shift of long time, then what?
I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. That's a great question.
For your escrow office.
Yeah.
Who it is assigned to
Yeah.
make sure that this money isn't being laundered illegally. That's what they're
And
really trying to figure out.
we can
So
have
I wouldn't
someone-
worry about a client who has legitimate funds from a legitimate source. They're going to be able to prove why and how. But ask your escrow officer exactly what they'll need from them.
But perhaps at our next meeting, we can have Lucy or someone speak to what the form looks like. It's all brand new, so and this goes into effect March 1st, is that right?
Yeah, it got
So
pushed.
the systems are still being built.
So it's not tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
just something you have to be aware of, and our forms are already telling people this is a thing.
Yeah.
Okay? It's pretty straightforward stuff, right? Anda?
So basically, we have to advise the buyer that there are some forms the escrow will ask of them to provide. And the seller, there is a seller advisor where they would be aware that the buyer needs to do an extra step or not. It's expected from the buyer to provide additional documentation. And I don't know, I kind of see it as.
So are we
Is the
informing?
seller gonna raise a red flag that they have a cash offer?
Yes.
So escrow
Yeah.
governs the escrow process. So let me go back to RPA 101. The actual top of the RPA, the purchase agreement, says residential purchase agreement, this is the part people miss, and joint escrow instructions. The deal is, the first thing that we do when we ratify is we give it to escrow. Escrow is gonna reach out to that seller. Escrow is gonna be ultimately responsible for making sure the seller too is aware and gives what they need to give. I am super afraid of everybody thinking that we need to get our fingers wet here, and we really don't. It's a background piece of information. I almost don't even like bringing it up because I think people, with the commission laws and everything changing, think there's so much burden on us. We just need to be aware that this is a thing going on in the background. And we have to be aware that if an escrow officer is telling us that our client isn't responding to them, the same way if they're not responding to Stephanie, the lender, with some updated W-2s, we need to get involved and try to give a push along. That's all you really need to leave here with today. Does that make sense? Go ahead, Anda. You have more. You have more fear. So tell me what it is.
I'm that generation. So would I have the concern that the sale would not go through if the buyer is not performing? So I not relating that to the seller, but for me it's like checking on the buyer. Are they doing it? And they're providing. And at the 7th day they are not, and going back to the seller non-contingent offer.
Yep.
Suddenly it's not going through.
That's correct. Yes.
They're losing the deposit, but it's just like.
Yeah. So how should we over worry about this? We shouldn't. We should just be aware that there's a qualification that's needed by escrow, and we should just get on the phone 1,000 times that day to talk to escrow and say, get it to them. Or we cancel contract. It's that easy. Or contract goes away.
Demand to close, or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same as any other.
There's about
requirement of the buyer.
10,000 to maybe 70,000 things in an escrow that could create that same level of fear if we let it take us away. That could just interject itself. That what should we do follow-up? Of course. HOA certs is a good one. We could find out that an HOA is in cert. It's not our responsibility. It's the lender's responsibility to have a conversation with their buyer client. Are we still stuck over here in the side going, I hope this gets taken care of? Yes. In that case, we call and say, is everybody getting this taken care of? Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
So just to clarify, like as an agent, we don't have to alarm our buyers that if you are having a cash deal or you are doing it as an entity, it can set a red flag or alert. We don't have to do anything. It's the lender responsibility.
Well, first of all, you're using the word
escrow.
alarm. First of all, you're using the word alarm, and then you're saying red flag. Is your client an unscrupulous money launderer?
No,
because if they're not, there's no red flag or alarm.
So
You're just telling your client you're going to be filling out forms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify. Okay.
Sorry if I just feel like sometimes we have to tell you guys about things that are just not that big a deal, and everybody wants to spin it into something that's huge.
Big deal.
Like anything, we want to dot our I's and cross our T's in a real estate
question
transaction.
is, like, now knowing like this rule or this thing that's happening, is it fair to, if we know that it's a cash transaction, is it fair to kind of just let our buyers know that?
For
hey,
sure.
Like, hey, escrow's gonna have these required documents, we're, you know, since it's a cash, we have to kind of document, or you're gonna have to fill out a form where this cash.
I would actually have that conversation with every single buyer I ever work with. Escrow is going to call you, and they're going to have things they need from you.
Yeah. It's not any.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. That's the last one. You can talk to me one-on-one about this, and I will make your fears go away every single time about this. That's it. That's all we have to really discuss on that topic.
Okay. Do you have any other car forms you want to talk about?
There was one more. There's the seller property questionnaire. There was a tiny update to that form too. I'm looking for it. We have there's one question added about gas-powered appliances. Do you know of any local restrictions that say that if that gas power appliance in the house breaks, that the next owner can't replace it with gas as well? I mean, I don't know of any here in Fremont yet, but this is a future thinking question on the SPQ, because there's at least some fear that in the next decade or so, California is going to start saying you can't use gas appliances, at which point I leave the state because I can't cook on electric. But
I mean, there's a lot of new development that are leaving out gas appliances, right?
yeah, and traditionally they're all. It's not just
Yeah.
new developments. Traditional, for the last 40 years, there have been new developments that only have electric. They're in like the hills and stuff. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that at some point, it may become a reality that you can't replace your gas stove with a gas stove. And the SBQ is getting ahead of it in case there's local ordinances saying that already.
Okay, so I mean, I guess people can just go get those, fire pit burners, put them on gas, I guess.
Yeah, people tell me induction's okay, but I have to say, I have to find out if it
Okay,
really is.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Does that extend to the, like, the grill machine we have outside that runs on gas?
Does that extend to the
If
group?
it's hard plugged into the house, what do you call that? Hardwired into the
Yeah,
house?
yeah, exactly.
Then yes, if the city
Yes,
says that you
this
can't replace
complete
it.
theoretical would apply to that.
Yes,
But right
this is
now
all
it's-
theoretical. This
No.
Sometimes if you're doing renovation, then you.
So this complete
Yeah.
futuristic theoretical would apply to that, but that's the point I'm trying to get across. Again, I have to tell you these things.
We don't know of any cities
but
that-
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know of any cities
Right.
yet, but
Berkeley's
you,
getting
You
close.
hear a buzz that Berkeley will be the first.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Amanda, did you have something?
Yeah.
So these are changes effective next year, March sometime?
That was, the FinCEN is March 1st, the federal reporting thingy. Everything else goes into effect next month.
The forms go into effect next month. There's no ordinance about your gas stoves right
That
now.
we know of.
That we know of.
Which
right
is
now.
what the question asks.
Right.
So
Do you know?
BRBC next month. Okay.
You'll see
BRBC will be updated to clarify days on,
The 90
term
days.
dates for representation agreement, and all these other little items will be added. The effectiveness depends on the legislation effectiveness. The legislation for FinCEN, the financial crimes one, isn't until March. That's when it's effective, but the form will have it in December. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Are
That's
you
it.
done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We good?
If you're all wondering about the FinCEN thing, in the car with Joe, I was like, everybody's gonna freak out on FinCEN, and it's not something to freak out on.
And I was like,
So
no,
you
they
can feel-
won't.
and,
It'll be
and Joe's
fine.
like, but they should a little. I'm like, they shouldn't, Joe. So we've already had our back
I
and
didn't say
forth
that.
on
No one
this.
should.
Kinda did.
It's fine. It's fine. Cool. Are we good to move
Yep,
on?
we're good.
Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. No fear? Low fear? Low fear. Okay. Good enough.
Mm.
All right. Let's run through some listings, then we're gonna have Stephen Klein talk to us, and then Muzna's gonna ask me some questions. All right, what do we have? Avi's got this guy in Hayward. Avi's not here. Is Avi traveling?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Avi's back. Go find him if you have got someone for this guy in Hayward. We've got Ankar's got this one in Fremont. Is Ankar here? No.
He's
Okay.
new to us, right?
New to us, yes.
Say hi to Ankar if you see him in the office. He joined us from a different, another KW.
Yes.
You're closer to his market.
So those were coming soon. Oh, did you want a picture of that one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it on the coming soon.
That's it. And then just listed, we've got Ron's got this one out in Livermore. No Ron?
Pretty.
All right, it's pretty, yeah. That's a lot of square footage for that price point.
Yeah,
Does that seem really affordable, or is that my imagination?
Okay.
That's the wrong
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. We think it's the wrong dollar amount.
It's
South.
1,999,999.
That sounds more in line.
It did seem really low.
They're willing to take either $728,000 or $2 million.
Yeah.
So your client gets to choose.
All right, and then Steve's got these handful of amazing lots up in the hills, 30 acre, 20-something acre. Yeah, so talk with him if
Look
you've
at those
got.
views,
I
too.
don't know. I think there's 4 of them.
Connected, I think.
Are
Yeah,
they?
they're all next to each other. There were only 3 listed. I want to say he had 4. Well, anyway, talk to Steve. Maybe he sold it. That's true. And Carl's got this guy out in San Ramon, 1.8 for 4.3. And that's it for Just Listed. Anyone else have a just coming soon or Just Listed to share before we talk to Stephen Klein? Greystone Insurance. No.
Stephen Klein from where?
Greystone Insurance.
Whoa, that guy. Oh, hey, Stephen. How are you?
I love how he makes his entrance.
I'd like to thank Joe for introducing me, because when Eddie does it, he does it wrong.
Not true.
It is true.
It is true.
Hi, everybody. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Stephen Klein. I'm the managing partner of the Greystone Insurance Agency. We're an independent insurance agency. Didn't you give the notice about ringers?
I did, but look, guess who rang twice?
We're an independent insurance agency. So as brokers, we work with the insurance companies that are still writing new business in California. So if you or your clients are having trouble finding insurance, or if you've received or if they've received a non-renewal notice, we can definitely help. We're very much property focused, but we do all things property and casualty insurance. So home, auto, umbrella, earthquake, flood, landlord insurance, renters insurance, and we also insure all kinds of businesses. We have clients from Main Street to Wall Street. We do all kinds of funky stuff in between. If you want to talk about funky stuff, that's my specialty. When I come to the market centers, I try to bring some something of value. How much time do I have today? Because I got lots of value today.
Oh boy, let's hear how valuable it is. We'll cut you off if.
Okay, let's talk about AI. Let's talk about AI. Oh, now we're getting into subjective metrics here.
I don't know if it's subjective.
Nice. So I want to talk real briefly about how AI is being used in insurance. So a lot of you know that when escrow closes, the insurance company is going to contact your clients to do an inspection of the property. The reason that the insurance company does their own inspections is because their interests are separate and different from the purpose of the pre-bind inspection or the inspection that your clients use in the escrow process. Insurance companies are using AI to do those inspections now. Instead of sending a property inspector, they'll ask your client or our client at that point to take some pictures of the property, shoot some videos, upload it to the website, and they'll have the bots figure out if the property needs any attention. I'm hearing that some companies are offering discounts if the homeowner chooses to accept the recommendations, any updates that need to happen. So it's a positive way that AI is being used in the insurance industry. It's also being used in the underwriting. It's also being used in the claims process. So when our clients are filing claims, rather than sending a claims adjuster, again, they're asking the clients to just shoot some photos, take some videos, upload it to the portal, and they're going to start the process that way. In my opinion, that is really, that could be problematic. One of the things that we do when our clients contact us because they've had a claim is we encourage them, if they're already working with a contractor, to have their contractor come to the appointment when the claims adjuster comes to do the survey. The thing that slows down the claims process the most is the negotiation between the insured and the insurer to try to come to an agreement on how much the payout should be. And what we've noticed is that when you have your contractor there, you can work with the claims adjuster in real time to come to an agreement. It cuts down a lot of that negotiation and that back and forth. And so I don't personally welcome any insurance company's efforts to lessen the possibility of that event. Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about the different types of insurance companies that exist. As brokers, we're required to try to place properties with what are known as admitted insurance companies. Everyone in this room is familiar with the admitted insurance companies. If you can think of 5 insurance companies, probably all 5 of them are admitted insurance companies. They're the ones that advertise on TV and advertise at sporting events. They're the bigger companies, the more well-known brands, and generally speaking, they offer the most complete coverage for the lowest premiums. When a home doesn't fit into the appetite of those insurance companies, then we're able to go to what are known as non-admitted markets, or technically they're called excess and surplus insurance companies. These are not inherently bad insurance companies. At Greystone, we only work with A-rated insurance companies. And lots of times those non-admitted companies are wholly owned subsidiaries of the admitted insurance companies. The one that comes to mind is Scottsdale Insurance. No one in here has probably heard of Scottsdale Insurance. They're 100% wholly owned by Nationwide Insurance. So they're A+ rated, they're financially stable, they're a giant insurance company. Their non-admitted status means that they don't have to adhere to as many of the Department of Insurance guidelines, and because of that, they're able to have a broader appetite. So they'll accept homes that maybe aren't as updated as frequently, or maybe aren't in the flats. Maybe they're in the foothills or up in higher brush, right? Those policies tend to be more expensive because they're being rated for less than ideal risks. Does that make sense? Cool. When a home doesn't fit into the appetite of both an admitted or a non-admitted insurance company, then we turn to the California Fair Plan. The California Fair Plan was created so that every home in California is insurable, right? So your clients don't ever have to worry about the availability of insurance. It's always there. The California Fair Plan has some limitations. I think the one that everyone in this room should know about is that there's a $3 million total insurable limit on a California Fair Plan policy. So the replacement cost of the home, plus all the personal property, all your client's contents inside, loss of use, and other structures like swimming pools, detached garage, retaining walls, things like that, all have to, cannot exceed $3 million in total value. Which could be limiting for some larger homes that need to be insured with the California Fair Plan. The Fair Plan just changed the regulations this year. If a home is, and I've mentioned this before, but I want to repeat, if a home is titled to an entity, which I believe you were speaking about recently, we can write that policy on the California Fair Plan commercial paper, and then that $3 million cap goes up to $20 million. So it really is designed for very large homes that need that type of
I
coverage.
haven't asked this before, but I would imagine it's not all entities. It's not like a family trust. It would have to be like
An LLC or
or a
corporation.
business trust.
Yeah.
Like okay.
Yeah, because then what happens is the entity owns the home, and then the homeowners who are living there become tenants of that home, and then we get them a renter's insurance policy. Yeah, it's just a different way of skinning a cat, right? Any questions about that? That poor cat. Okay, so when do you contact Greystone Insurance? If you think that the cost of insurance is going to be a limiting factor in whether or not your client might be able to write an offer, you can send us the address, kwadvisors@greystoneinsured.com. We just need a day or two, and we can at least run some numbers and see if we believe that the cost of insurance for that home is going to be $200 or $300 a month, or $800 or $900 a month, right? It might make a difference. And if you would like an insurance proposal to go on your listing presentation, we believe that's going to help separate you from your competition. Shows that you're thinking about the transaction a little bit more comprehensively. Also shows that you have access to resources that maybe those that are also trying to sell that home don't have. But it is really important if your client or your potential client, for example, has been in that home for 20 or 30 years and just been renewing that same insurance policy year after year after year without any other analysis. They might not know that insurance policy that they've been paying $2,000 or $3,000 a year for 20 years might actually cost the buyer $8,000 or $9,000 a year.
And when it comes to things that we should be worrying about in the middle of an escrow or in the beginning of an escrow, this is when we should be worrying about. And this insurability climate, like, can we get this property insured? I just entered into escrow. Talk about something that could blow up and really kill your deal. It's that mom and pop have owned the property for 30 years. They have a low insurance. We make some assumptions that we're going to be able to get a similar policy, and our client is like hit with a price tag like they wouldn't believe 5 days into the escrow.
Yeah. My advice to all agents is, as soon as you get in the contract, please have a conversation with your clients about insurance. Don't let insurance be the reason why your escrow doesn't close on time. Yeah.
Even if you had a conversation with your clients about insurance and they still linger, what do you do?
Every 3 to 4 days, have a conversation. Have you contacted your insurance agent? Have you contacted your broker? If they don't work with someone and they need an introduction, of course, we appreciate that. We'd love to talk to your clients about their needs. Yeah.
So isn't it a good habit to usually just talk about insurance before we get into contract?
Yes. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's always been the case that the lender is going to need you to get on that right away, or your client to get on that right away. And it's just we're just in a really hard insurance market right now.
Exactly right. Now it's critical to have that up front.
And if your clients own a home but haven't been in the market in 10 or 15 years, they might not have any idea that the market has changed. You know, when I got into this business many years ago, agents would call me the day before escrow closed and said, I need a policy, and we could bind it in the same day, write it and bind it in the same day. It was beautiful. Those days are long gone. It's very, very rare. Yeah.
I'm curious, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Is there a difference between owner, primary residence insurance and an investment property insurance?
Great question. So occupancy is both a rating factor and an eligibility factor. And so it's really important that the insurance company or that the broker knows how the home is being used so that we can rate it properly and write the correct policy. The coverage generally is the same. The home will be protected for the same covered causes of loss, but the difference between an owner-occupied property and a tenant-occupied property, among all the other differences, is how much coverage we need for personal property. Because typically when it's an investment property, the only property that the homeowner owns are the appliances, right? So you don't want to write a policy that's got $500,000 of personal property protection. They're paying for insurance they're never going to use, right? Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
One more thing.
Yeah, raffle.
The raffle. So if you've had a great experience with Greystone Insurance, or if you appreciate the value that we bring in these team meetings, we're having a raffle. Leave us a Google review. Hopefully it's a positive one. If we get to 50 Google reviews by the end of the year, we're going to raffle off a $500 Amazon gift card.
How many do you have right now?
I think we're up to 17 or 18, something like that.
It's growing.
It's growing.
Last time it was 4, right?
Not a bop? You're not giving a bop away? That's what that looks like.
That's the Stephen Beard thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, BOP for realtors are $500. Does everyone know what a BOP is? A business owner's policy. 2 more minutes? So 1 minute. So the Market Center has an E&O insurance policy that is intended to extend to each of you in case something unfortunate happens in your transaction. It also has a general liability policy that is not intended to extend to each of you. A BOP is a business owner's policy. Each of you are running your own businesses. The distinction between the two policies is that a BOP protects you from claims of third-party bodily injury, third-party property damage. I'll tell a quick story. There was an agent down in LA who was selling a home. The homeowner turned off the water to the wet bar because the pipe was leaking. The buyer insisted that the pipe was fixed as a condition of the close. So the agent hired a plumber, full stop, terrible idea. Never hire service professionals for your clients. Introduce them to 2 or 3 of them, let them make the choice.
What he said.
100%. Okay, so the agent hired a plumber fixed the pipe tested, escrow closed. 3 months later, the pipe failed again, flooded the house, $216,000 of damage to the house. Who got sued?
Everybody.
Everybody got sued, right? But because the agent had a BOP, when he got his letter from the attorney, he turned it over to his insurance company. His insurance company made it go away because really the claim should have been with the plumber, right? So for the cost of about 30 or 40 minutes of your attorney's time, you have an annual policy that has a duty to defend you from any claim.
Yeah, so if you're risk averse, it's a nice little extra coverage to give yourself doing business out there as an independent business person.
And it's the second prize in our contest that we're running right now.
Second prize? How dare you?
We want to thank Stephen Klein, and we want to remind you that if you have anything funky you want to talk to him about, is that what you said at the beginning? He's an expert on all
If
things.
you want to talk about med spas and vampire facials, I am an
He's the expert on all things funky, as he told us. Thanks, Stephen.
Oh, man. Having too much fun today. Okay. I think we're ready to chat. Okay. Do you want to chat?
Ready?
Oh, sure. So, yeah, Moosman's going to ask me some questions. I don't know what she's going to ask me. It's going to be great.
That's good.
Please record. Record. Should have recorded.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Before I start, how many of you really know Joe? Okay, so tell me something about it. What is the one thing you know that nobody else knows it?
Oh, I wouldn't know the answer to that question. But what I would say is that Joe is one of the most honorable people I know.
Oh, that's great.
Joe and I are pretty good friends, so I have a lot of things people don't know.
Really?
Private things I've learned about my friend over the last.
No, that's a better one. That's a better one.
He's the smartest person in the business. He knows more than anybody I know.
So Joe?
Wow.
Okay.
And he's very humble.
He's
Yes.
very humble. True.
This is great.
I receive my monthly salary, twice a month salary on time. He's very good in integration.
He looks like
And
he's
if I
12,
reach out-
but he's 80. Sorry.
If I reach out to him,
What is the one thing that nobody else knows?
you guys know that he's very good in integration? No. Any trouble, any issues with the systems, I don't want to put my head. I'm like, Joe, please take care of that. So that will save my time, and that you can also use that like any support
reach out to Joe.
Thank
So
you.
Joe,
Yes.
you are one humble, sharp, intelligent, successful person.
I'll take it.
Okay, you take it. And there's few things which I didn't know before, and I googled him, and you know what I found?
What'd you find?
He is among top 100. Okay, let me just be facts correct, okay?
Fact check.
Okay, he sold 110,000 residential and self-storage units, and he generated into 2014 1 million in annual GCI. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. He is among top 100 agents and awarded as platinum agent status in the Keller Williams. Is that correct?
That's right.
Do you know these things about him? So honestly, how many knew this? Yeah?
I didn't really know that.
Yeah? You didn't know, right? Nobody. See? I found something
This is
about
the
you.
humble part.
So this man is so generous and humble that nobody realized that you have so much, you have achieved so much, and you are the right person. We can come for advice, and we would like to know your advice. How have you achieved that?
That's a big question. How have I achieved everything you just said?
Yes.
Okay, where to start? Where would you like me to start? I started in 2014. I guess that's a good place to start. Oh, I thought that year was wrong.
Yeah.
I did $1 million in GCI for the first time in 2019, I think.
Okay.
So it's a few years
Maybe
ago.
Google just messing it up.
AI? Nice.
Okay.
What advice to get there? When I started, I felt like I had a lot of clarity about what I wanted my business to look like.
Okay.
And it meant selling a lot of houses, and so I defined my world around doing the actions needed to sell the houses that I wanted to sell. Like, that's kind of it in short. So I spent my first year hosting actually the same house for every weekend for, I don't know, 9 weeks or so, because it was available to me. It was not my listing, but it was a house that I could hold open to attract business. And so I did. I held it open every opportunity, and ultimately got my first, I think, 9 clients from that one open house.
Amazing. Can you imagine a house which was not being sold for a very long time? He generated 9 leads, and I guess that was your first year where you've generated the business from
That's
the same
right,
lead.
yes.
And that's a lesson I really learned. Like, you gave me hope. And I guess the way you made it work, it's so amazing, because I think it's your eye to look for the opportunity and made it happen is what we really need to learn. And so we would like to know some more nuggets that we can actually have it.
Yeah.
That because it's not easy to be, like, people struggle, and as we all know, like, very few people actually survive and make big in this industry.
Yeah.
And you have made it, so you have so much more to say. And what do you want to share with us?
Yeah.
And how can we do that?
Well, a common question I get is, how did I find 9 clients? Not 9 leads, that was 9 closings from a single open house. Especially as a brand new agent, like, that was literally the first open house that I held, and then I just kept staying there. And I think my answer, it comes down to figuring out what value I have and figuring out how to show it. Actually, my first team leader, I've always been at Keller Williams, my first team leader did a disc profile for me, and it shows up a lot like a lot of you guys. Very high SC, no D, and like that much I. So if you know what that means, it's like no like dominance, what's the better D word? What's that?
No.
Driven, directed. Ds are your people that are your typical salespeople. They can sell, what's the phrase? Sell anything to anyone. I don't have any of that. I have what you guys tend to have in Fremont, which is high C for like computational stuff. Know my numbers, understand how systems and processes work, and high S, which I tend to equate to empathy. So knowing what people want and being trustable.
Social.
That's the I. The I is more social butterfly, having influence over others. That's what the I stands for. So I have a tiny bit of that, but not a lot. So what I had to figure out is, oh, and my team leader at the time. So I took this test, and she's like, oh, you do not have the typical test results of a successful real estate agent. Like, that's a nice way to tell me I'm gonna fail, is basically what she was saying. But I took it as a challenge. Like, okay, how can I crank up my S and my C, those traits that people really like and appreciate, but aren't the ones that are typically associated with real estate agents, and have, like, exude them, like figure out how to emanate these qualities so that people can feel and sense them, and hopefully trust me and work with me. So that's how I went into every open house. It wasn't how can I sell this thing, it wasn't how can I influence them, it was how can I show them what I am, what I'm good at, what value I do bring.
So your authenticity, your being real, your empathy, that's what made you work with people, right? Is that what we get it?
Yes, I believe we all have life experiences that can be analogous to what a home buyer is going through. I happen to have bought homes before, so I leaned on that a lot. My own personal experience buying and failing at buying houses to help create that trust and empathy. But I can imagine that all of us have something that we can lean on, some real life, our own experience to add value to our clients' adventures in real estate.
That's so amazing. Guys, do you agree, right? Okay, so share something about your first experience, like your first client. How did you feel? What made it tick? Like, what did you do that brought the difference?
I'm trying to remember which one was my first client.
Okay, which one is your favorite client? Like, which was the toughest one?
Client?
Yeah, like something like you thought, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, this might have been my first client, or my second. Well, first or second. Yeah, they were a young couple that walked into this open house, and I feel like we had a really good rapport. I remember I used a sign-in sheet at the time. I would always fill out a fake person at the top, including an address, the whole thing. Because if people see that someone else did it, they're more likely to do it themselves. So I collected not just a name and a phone number, but also a physical address and an email address. So after open houses, I would write physical cards. I haven't in a while, which I don't feel great about. But it's amazing. So I'd write a card, I'd put it in the mail that day, and then I'd make sure to call them when I think they received it. And the response that I got from the people I actually got a hold of, which is not everyone, was wow, it felt so connected. They felt connected to me. I remembered something about them. I put it in the card. And was able to build a strong relationship. And that first or second client, whichever it was, we closed on a house in North Oakland, and they went on to refer like 2 other clients to me that very year. And so I felt, I guess, proud that I was able to give them service that was good enough for them to recommend others.
You must be, like, making 9 clients out of 1 open house. It's an amazing job. When they must have met you, they must have realized that this is the one. I hope that's the same thing you give in a personal relationship also. Okay, this is the one.
I hope so too.
Okay, so what one lesson you want to give to our new new agents? What they should do? What one thing you want them to do?
How about, let's talk about picking up after failure. So I held the same house open for however many weeks it was, and I never counted the total number of leads, but it was probably close to 100. Okay. And so there's a lot of rejection in there. Yeah. Maybe it was over 100, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of, I remember, I took a couple on a tour. This was back when people got in my car. I took them around, show them around all the neighborhoods of Oakland. That was something I wanted to be an expert in, so I just did it. Like, this is what this neighborhood feels like, here's this one. And I thought we hit it off. I thought I'd knocked it out of the park, and I talked to them a few days later, and they're like, yeah, we decided to work with this other person.
Okay.
Oh,
heartbroken.
Yeah, and when you think you got that's when it's hardest. When you think you did it right and you think you
Yeah.
got the deal and then you didn't. That's when it's most painful, and I've allowed it in the past to really derail me in my progress and my consistency. And so I guess the lesson, the advice is figure out how to let no be a gift and not derail you. Like, okay, we weren't right for each other. Let's move on.
Amazing. So how does it feel?
Which part? How does
So
what
how
feel?
does it feel to achieve this much? Like imagine
Ah.
a guy who was just starting off and he was new, he didn't know anything.
Mhm.
He was, and now where you are, like when you look at the younger self, how does it feel? And where do you want to see yourself?
You know, it's interesting the journey that life takes us on. It's hard to make that connection, like what 10 year ago Joe thinks about now Joe. I feel, to answer your question, pride, and also like a knowingness that I'm not that special. Like I know that anyone in this room can stand up and do the same thing, and that doesn't mean it's easy. And I certainly have gifts that might make certain aspects easier than others. But yeah, so there's pride there. There's the knowing. What else is there? Feels good. Yeah.
Amazing. You should. So, where do you see, like, in your future, do you think there is something left still which you want to achieve?
Oh my goodness, yes. It's in flux right now, but yeah, there's so much opportunity in both the Bay Area and this organization that we're in, and of Keller Williams, as well as in real estate in general. I don't know what that next thing is for me, but there's going to be something out there. Yeah.
So you
Hungry.
have the same excitement. You're still hungry, is it?
Still hungry. Just don't know what I'm hungry
That's
for.
amazing.
It's like
So
a whole
every-
menu to choose from.
Every morning when you get up, you feel that hunger, is it?
Oh no,
No?
no,
There are
I'm
days?
human like most of you.
Most.
You know who you are.
So are there days when you feel, oh, what's the point? I got everything, now what to do? Is there something like that?
Yeah, well, I don't, there's not the I've got everything piece, that doesn't exist for me. But there is the what's the point? Like, why don't I just stay in bed today? Woe is me, like it's not going well, whatever it is. Yeah, that happens. That happens more than I'd like to admit.
And then how do you come out of that?
Well, there's a few tricks that have helped me. One is like Mel Robbins' rocket ship, take off, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Whatever the thing is, just do it. Don't let your fear center take over and talk you out of getting out of bed or making that first phone call or whatever it is. And actually, I'm all about Mel right now, I guess. Her newest book is about, it's called Let Them, I think?
Let Them Theory.
Yeah, Let Them Theory. Essentially, the concept is like, I don't have control over any of the actions that you guys take. And that's okay. Like, I don't need to try to control it. And I say you guys, I guess I'm thinking more like my clients that reject me. Like, okay, that's not about me. It's about them. And I don't need to do more than what I can do. I don't need to be anxious about it. Let's move on.
That is so amazing. What do you guys
Forgot the
say?
question.
Yeah, I'm so, yeah, so good. So any question from you guys? Do you like to ask something? Eddie, would you like to add something?
I'll just add that you should get an Annie.
It helps to have a powerful woman, yeah, for me at least.
When Joe was talking about starting the career, I was thinking he's in a partnership with a very, very intelligent, equally intelligent person who's also very successful in her own right. And I think that that's helpful, right?
Oh, yeah.
With setting goals. And she's an investor, she runs a real estate investment company. So there's a real kind of intellectual partnership around goals, I think.
Yeah.
So find that person, even if it's not your spouse. I think it is good to have somebody to kind of set goals with.
Absolutely. Pat?
Yes, this has to do with the disc.
Yes.
So I am a super high IS.
Yes, okay.
I have 0. I'm like at the very bottom for D.
Yep.
Have you overcome that? When I'm up against somebody with a D personality, it's like kiss them goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly, so overcome, no. What I've come to is accept what I am and who I am.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
surrender.
have those.
Yeah, correct. Most people on planet Earth, I think this is true, are high S's. And so someone like you is going to resonate if you can get through and show them your S. That's what I've learned, at least. And so that's what it's all about. Every first
By the
client
way, that
interaction.
makes 3 of us. I'm an IS.
Me too.
With no
And they
D.
don't want to be my friend. I have to get over that.
Yeah, that's right. You have to get over that.
Business, not friend.
Yeah.
Can I just add, I'm an ISD, no D too, and I was told early in my career you should try to develop your D.
No.
But what Joe said that he did, if everybody was listening, is he doubled down on his SC. He accepted his SC and said, how can I go into that listing appointment and show way more SC than they're used to seeing from another person? Because there's so many Ds in our business. If you're not familiar with these terms, D is that bossy salesperson, right? The person that we're usually
Driven.
in deals
And they go
against.
in and get the
Incredibly
business.
driven.
And they're usually, I was
Driven.
just gonna make a joke, they're usually dumb and, no, kidding. But they're usually all D. They are just, it doesn't mean that they have the like skills or understanding or the technical ability. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. But boy, do they sell millions and millions and millions of dollars of real estate every year. And then the rest of us think, but I know real estate. the going up against a D, show your SC, show
You
your
know,
ISC.
something a former coach of mine taught me was that, so if you think about the elite military units, Navy SEALs or whatever, most of those guys are SCs. Because when you have an SC that is incredibly clear on the mission, they show up as a D. They show up driven and clear and just like on point.
But you have to have that C.
Oh, right.
I'm missing the C also.
Well,
Completely.
you've got an I.
No, I'm not. I would think that I would go in and say, he needs me because I'm a C.
Yeah.
He cannot do what the C does.
Take it at some time. Like, am I more analytical, computational? Am I more kind of, do I use empathy? Sorry, I'm stumbling word. Do I use empathy more? Am I more, the I is, your
Influence.
Is influence, so am I like this social butterfly, and that's how I connect to people? I mean, whether you believe it or not, it's really interesting when you take one and you start to apply it, and think about yourself, and I think it's a good, like to Joe's earlier point, I think it's a good thing to kind of get to know your style, because that's what you're gonna be working with for the rest of your career. Like, who am I and what do I bring to the table?
Yeah, there's a free test on, I think it's TonyRobbins.com. Search for DISC, and you can, DISC.
Disc.
Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. Yeah.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
What are the sacrifices you did to get here, right? And what are the sacrifices you did not do to get here? Basically, what do you feel like you missed out on
Yeah.
to get here?
Yeah. What sacrifices did I make?
Were able to accomplish getting here, the two different things that really conflict or contradict each other.
Yeah.
You need to have sacrifices to get to where you are, but sometimes you feel like you did something extra that made it.
Yeah. So two things come to mind on sacrifice. One is giving up my other income.
In terms of family life.
Yeah, well, that is a big one, right? I mean, my wife thankfully had a job at that time, but it was challenging for us to take that leap of faith and say, I'm going to give up my 6-figure salary, contractor work, so not salary, whatever, to dive into real estate full time, because I knew that if I only did it part time, I was not going to get what I wanted. That's not to say that you can't sell houses as a part-time agent, but I knew that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So I gave up that salary, and then I went 3 months or so without income. So there was sacrifice there. I had young kids when I started in real estate, and so I gave up my weekends, which was hard, as like our true family bonding time, or a good chunk of it, to open houses. And I still feel like I'm making that up.
Do you feel like these were compromises or sacrifices that were worth it, or like do you sometimes feel like you can go back and get those done?
Yeah, depends on the day you ask me. I mean, the giving up the salary, absolutely. Giving up the weekends, it depends on the day. I think we've come out the other side in a place where, like, yeah, now I can be fully present for my family and kids, and that feels amazing. And I don't think I would have done it without the early sacrifice.
There is a conflict we have to deal with every day. As new agents, right, we come here, do some work.
Yeah.
And there's a family calling, basically, we go and take care of the family. And then think about it, we did not do this work here, and come back and do this. And like half between here and there. And sometimes we struggle between that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was negotiating deals in like subway stations in Seoul. Like that, I have a very vivid memory of like my family was all there, like waiting for us to go up the escalator, but I was afraid I was going to lose service. So it was like, I got to get this done, and it felt terrible because I know like we had a screaming child or maybe two of them, I don't remember. And it was just an unpleasant sacrifice that I was making. And that wasn't the only one, but that's one that comes to mind. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are your kids right now?
Yeah, they're 9 and 12.
So
Are
like,
they still screaming?
Yes.
when they were a little younger, like how did, I mean, your wife is very ambitious, you're very ambitious.
Yeah.
How did you guys manage everything?
Yeah. Well, my wife runs her own business, so that helped a lot. So she was able to design her own schedule, as can I. So setting client boundaries was something that I took control over. More so on when appointments can happen. So I got out of the when can you meet and more into does this time or this time work for you? Give 2 options. And if the answer is no, like, okay, let's find some other times. So that helped a lot so that I could be where I needed to be to take care of my kids.
For instance, if one of you were at a business trip or something,
Yeah.
and another got a client and you got kids.
Yeah, I've taken my kids to appointments before.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee shops. Actually, separate story real quick, but I took my kids to buyer consults at coffee shops. I've taken them on 2 house tours before. They definitely, you got to know their expiration. Usually 1 house is about it. But I'd make it happen. Yeah.
So you can do that. I think she was listening very carefully. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. I had a question regarding your corporation that you built.
Yeah.
Or the team that you have supporting you. What are the 2 or 3 key elements that you look for when you hire or keep a team member in your team?
Oh man, yeah.
There's always ups and downs with them, right? So
Yeah.
what
How are we
the
on
key
time?
points that you say, one,
Cool.
2, 3 has to be there, otherwise I'm out?
Yes, I'm going to answer that briefly, and then I see we're way past time, so I'll let Muzna close us out after that. And I will suggest on Thursday to come for the Team Success Masterminds. Mike Putnam's going to have that whole conversation. How would I answer that, though? So I did grow a team, and more than anything, it's values alignment. So I had to get clear on what my values were and what I wanted to exude to the public. Things like, the things that come to mind are having fun, being of integrity, not only like the telling the truth stuff, but also telling the hard things that your clients need to know to make a worthwhile decision. So things like that, getting clear on what your values are, and then making sure that you're hiring someone that fits those values.
So this IQ test that you guys talked about
Yeah.
earlier, you can't really do an IQ test when you meet people.
No,
How
so
do you-
that
after
person.
3 months you find out these were super jerks and you lose your time. How do you gauge that time before engaging? So this is what the right people want.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. That's hard. And sometimes you have to fire people quickly. That's okay too.
Also, go with your gut.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned over the years is that
You can't ask for IQ test, right?
every time that I thought, I'll just speak like a New Yorker, John will appreciate this, but every time I've thought, wow, this person's going to be a pain in the ass, you know what? They wound up being a pain in the ass. Or anytime I've thought this is going to go south, you know, like your gut tells you more than you're willing to accept because you're hungry, and then later you're like up nights thinking, why didn't I listen to my gut? You know, I didn't know my amount of money's worth this, so listen to your gut more.
Yeah. There you go. And then come on Thursday and have a whole, I think it's a 2-hour session about that exact topic. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what does it mean? It means that you have so much, and we can have multiple sessions, but today we have to wind it up. It was so amazing to have you, so much we can learn from you. And I'm so grateful to be working with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes,
let
thank
me
you.
ask, are you going to?
No, I So today I have a meeting, Palo Alto, more emotions, kind of student.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and I wanna actually go.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, yeah. Check with her. Make sure she's